Day, ladies of Empowerment Group Ministries. Okay, so that's Sister Pat here, as you know, and I will not take much of your time. I just want to delve right into that conversation. When I thought of the meeting tonight, I had my own thoughts, but I prayed about it, and one word kept coming to me over and over: packaging. I said, okay, Lord, what are you saying to me here? And I felt like God led me to look up packaging in youth ministry. And I was stunned at what I found. You see, one thing I have to establish right here is that we don't ever change the word of God or compromise the word of God to suit anyone. But one thing that we can do is we can change our delivery methods. Over the years, especially in St. Lucia and all over the world, we see that things are evolving, especially in education. There are many different ways that we have seen education evolve from what we knew to what it is now. Remember, we had CPA, we had common entrance. Now we have CPA. Why? Because they have to keep in touch or in step with the world, the progression of the world, and because things are improving, knowledge is increasing, and so what happened is that we now are finding ourselves at a default in the Christian world because we want to stay at the same place. We are not evolving. And to evolve, sometimes we think that we are compromising or we are changing, things or the Lord. But the thing is that we can improve on methods. There is improvement. And the very same way they are, improving on a lot of things out there, we can improve as well. So, let me just say that when it comes to, there are so many good things that are happening in the youth. So very many good things. But I'm just saying that here are some things that we can look at because we already know the good things. Okay? So to effectively use packaging when teaching youth in church or out there, we need to start thinking of adapting our approach to resonate with their current interests and experiences. This involves considering how we present our message, that is the packaging, to ensure the core teaching, that is the content, is understood and impactful. Here's how we can apply this concept. Number one, we need to understand our audience, their age and their maturity. You see, teenagers are often more open to challenging ideas when presented in a way that aligns with their development stage. Not our development stage, theirs. So they respond better when we present in a way that aligns to their personal development stage. Most times we present according to our development stage, and the thing is they cannot adapt. And the thing is we don't treat them like children. We shouldn't treat them like children per se, but we shouldn't treat them as adults either. We have to meet them where they are. They are youth. And they are like that for a reason. That's why we call them youth meeting. So there has to be a difference between how they're taught and how we'll teach, the grown-ups and the young little kids. So we have to look at their interests and passions. We need to consider their current hobbies, like favorite music, movies, and social media trends. How can we incorporate these elements into our lessons? Communication styles. Are they more visual, auditory, or kinesthetic? Are they kinesthetic learners? Now, this is also known as like a tactile learner. You know, somebody who learns best through hands-on activities, like physical experiences and movements. They prefer to actively engage with the material or whatever it is that we're doing and their surroundings, rather than passively listening to lectures or reading. You know, we have to look for these things. If we want the youth to grow, if we want the youth ministry to grow, we have to now start looking at things, broadening our scope. You know, we don't know half of their hobbies. We don't know half of the music that they like. What can we sing to reach them? Because sometimes the songs that we sing are not the songs that they really like. You know, that's not their it's not palatable to them. So then we now have to start to think about those things as well. Because there are great songs, very good songs, that are not in the genre that we, you know, like as grown-ups, that they, you know, hope we're getting through there. So an example of, you know, of communication styles. Let's say that you have a cookie making night and you invite them to your home. You put on a live, or you put on a live whilst you are baking, depending on your lesson. You can ask them what ingredients or whatever it is can you incorporate in your baking of cookies. And you can incorporate that thing into your lesson. What will happen is that you will grab their minds for years, and they will remember what you have said because of the participation, what they were doing, or what they were listening to, what you were doing. A short video. Pull up a short video with what you are teaching and have them watch and put out their ideas as to what they thought of that thing. What really reached them? What is it that they learned from it? You know? We can take them to on a nature's trip. Say like there's a holiday coming up. You know, you plan a short trip somewhere with them and give them a very good time enjoying nature and whatever it is to their, you know. And then you develop, you take pictures, or you also take videos, so that when you come again, you can incorporate that in your lesson. It will make them, you know, it will think their minds, so that they would be able, you know, to really push themselves into learning what we are teaching. Adapt your presentation. Like, we need to adapt our presentation or our packaging. For example, we can engage them early. Start with something that grabs their attention, like, you know, a thought-provoking question, a short video, or a relatable story. We need to use relevant language. Sometimes our language is too higher than their language skills. We need to back down a little bit sometimes. You know, avoid outdated phrases or jargon. Use vocabulary that they understand and find engaging. Like you're starting a class, as a joke, you can say, "You're better clock in today," because you know, I'm not in that clock out thing. Before I start, you want to sleep already. You know, when I would go into a class, like my own class, sometimes I would try to you know, wake them up with some type of something, because you know, you have to get their attention moving, like really steady, with something that you know will reach them right off the bat, or else, believe me, throughout that conversation or that lesson, they will be listening half-heartedly, seriously. So yeah, when you grab their attention from the start, That helps them stay focused, pay attention. Don't use, as you know, all the old phrases of the past and all those things. The thing is that you need to get relevant. Like, you know, when I say relevant, like today's thing with them. That you know, the moment you will start coming in and you will be like, hey, you know what? You know what, bro? You know what? You get their attention because they want you to speak their language. They don't want you to sing. They don't want you to, you know, to be out of the way. But one thing I have proven is that they want to feel that you are feeling them, even at your age. and we need to try to do that. We need to create visuals, like, you know, use chats, posters, or images to support our messages. And I know we are doing that online. And sometimes, you know, we use the, you know, certain methods, certain things. But, you know, the posters sometimes, like, or images, they make a lot of difference. A lot of difference. Make it fun. We have to make it fun. Add elements of play. We have had competitions, and that's wonderful. We have had quizzes. That's awesome. Team activities, I believe we have had that. So we need to get them more motivated with those things. You understand? A little bit more. Because we learn in different ways. You know, it's not always standing before the class and teaching. We learn in different ways. Making arts, all different types of things. Okay? So we can tell stories as well. Especially relatable stories. Like real life stories. You know? Like I said, we need to focus on relevance. Connect to their world. Show them how the teachings relate to their lives. You know, you don't be afraid to get into the nitty-gritty of their lives. We need to get into their lives, their struggles, and their future. We need to bring what it is that we are saying down to their level completely. Address their concerns. You know? Continue to give them a voice. Right now, I will tell you what happened. We will say that, yes, the platform is open to them. Yes, they can share their thoughts, but can they really share their thoughts? You see, one of the things that God has given to me is discernment. And I can tell when, you know, children or young people are not being themselves. And they will be on the group, and they know the right things to say when questions are asked. They know what to say and what not. But if you are really paying attention and focusing, even in your spirit, you will feel, or you will hear, the Spirit of God tells you they are not open. They are not speaking what they really want to know. Because, you know, for some reason, they have some type of fear. They feel restricted in a way. You see, sometimes because of the way they were brought up, the culture they were brought up in, and different things, they are kind of like, it's kind of like difficult for them to break the hold. And so you find a group of young people that will echo what you want them to, what they know you want to hear, but they are not letting you know what they really feel. And this is something that we need to pray about. And believe me, I am speaking from, not from other groups, I'm speaking from our group here. I have been sensing that for a while. These children need to break free. They need to be able to express themselves openly and freely. It's like we have given them the opportunity, but they cannot because they are feeling restricted for some reason or the other. Let's say we are talking about forgiveness. That's my last point. We can, instead of like teaching or lecturing on the importance of forgiveness, like we can use a skit or a video to illustrate how forgiveness can create positive change in a person's life. Like we could ask them to brainstorm ways to apply these principles in their own relationships. I'm just bringing out some things that we can do, and I have come to the end of it. I hope and pray that we get something from all I have said. May the Lord have his way in each and every one of us and in our group. May his hands be upon all of us. Thank you for listening.